All right, so the semifinal games have come and gone, and we have narrowed down the field to just two. But how did we get here? Well, this video is going to be kind of short because we really only have two games to break down. So let's go ahead and get started with Notre Dame versus Penn State. And honestly, this game was hard for me to watch because it felt clear to me after the first few minutes that neither of these teams should be here in the position that they are in a spot where they can potentially play for a national championship game. Crazy. Neither of these teams looked that good to me. Both teams looked like they wanted to lose the game. Neither team was very impressive. And honestly, it looked like how I expected it to look. And, both teams, their weaknesses were on full display here. But all that being said, I do have to hand it to Notre Dame. They found a way to break a few explosive plays. That's something I didn't really think they were capable of after watching them the rest of the season and in the postseason. They just found a way to win this game despite their quarterback going down, despite them having worse rushing stats than Penn State, despite being down 2 possessions in the game, and despite them losing the turnover battle. They overcame a lot to win this game, and it just as easily could have gone Penn State's way. It all really came down to Drew Aller throwing that pick at the end of the game in Penn State territory. If that pick wasn't thrown, I really believe that Penn State probably drives down the field to kick the game winner, but that's not what happened. Like I said in the past, Drew Aller is not that guy. He looked pitiful out there. Not one receiver caught a ball. They weren't really targeted. All the passes went to running backs and tight ends, and 44 got his yards like we expected, and the running backs performed very well as well, but they were just not dynamic enough on offense, and they have not been dynamic all season. They've just not been a balanced team. Neither is Notre Dame, but at least Notre Dame was able to win this game playing a style that they are not comfortable with. I did think that Penn State would end up being the more balanced team, but that's just not what happened. I mean, you look at the stats or look at the game, and Notre Dame looks like a more balanced team, even though all season they really haven't been. Now, I still do believe that Notre Dame is heavily flawed. I don't think they have a good passing game, and I fully expect them to get drugged through the mud when they go up against Ohio State in the national championship game. And I believe the same would have happened to Penn State, so I don't think it really mattered here. It's truly crazy to me, though, that these two teams made it to the semifinal game due to their seeding. Notre Dame had a harder route for sure, so I'm glad that they're the one that's going to go all the way. But it's just frustrating watching two teams that I feel like have no business competing for a title to make their way into one. I know I said that earlier, but it just truly is insane watching this game and knowing that one of these two teams was going to a national championship game. But congrats to Notre Dame. They played hard, their defense held up, and they found a way to win in a way that they don't normally win. So that's all I have for that game. Moving on now to Ohio State versus Texas, and this is a game that was a lot closer than I had expected. I did not expect Texas to take Ohio State to the wire, but at the end of the day, the team I thought won did. Defense was the name of the game here. Ohio State definitely delivered in that category. They held Texas on the ground, and they pressured Quinn Ewers all night long, and they did it effectively. And there was also that scoop and score at the end of the game that really sealed it for Ohio State. Texas did have the opportunity to win or at least tie this game, but they blew it in a way that I feel like only Texas could. They made it to the red zone, first and goal at the 1 with 4 opportunities to punch it in. And, in my mind, I'm like, okay, just run it up the gut 4 times. You're going to get it one of those 4 times. But that's not what they did. Instead of just running up the gut, they decided to pitch it back, lose a few yards, and then be in a position where they had to throw it on 4th down. And that resulted in a fumble and a scoop and score for Ohio State. And that sealed the game. I cannot believe that's how this game – I mean, I can because it's Texas, but, I mean, who do you blame? Because, that's on the O-line. That's on Quinn Ewers, but more than anything, for me at least, I think that's on the play caller. And it's just, how do you call up? I always hate when coordinators or coaches call pitch plays when you're that close. Like, you're going to lose yards more than likely, and it's just not worth it. But anyways, I am impressed that Texas's defense was able to calm down Ohio State's offense, but even Ohio State's slow ball seemed to be good enough to beat what looked like Texas's fastball. And I've said it since Ohio State beat Tennessee, or really just destroyed Tennessee. Ohio State is the real deal. They are a great defense, they are a great offense, and they can win in several different ways. If you look at this game, Jeremiah Smith, who just went crazy on Oregon, was quiet all game, and they still won. Basically, I think Ohio State may have just jumped over their biggest hurdle of the postseason in beating Texas, and now I think it's just cleaning up the mess in the national championship game, because no disrespect to Notre Dame, I do not think they are good enough or dynamic enough to beat Ohio State. I'll get to that in my prediction video, which will be coming out very shortly, but spoiler alert, I'm picking Ohio State to win the national championship game. Anyways, that's all for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.